I'm going to work on making this infinite energy, which I think is legitimately going to take us about 4 seconds. As soon as we are done with these fluxed electron plates, the rest of the recipe is extremely easy. After that, I might move on to start trying to make these crystalline pink slime balls, because these I also don't think are going to be too hard, mostly due to the fact that you make them in sets of 24. So all we need here is 5 crystalline pink slime ingots, and to get those we need 5 pink slime ingots and 5 grains of piezoality. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And these are just made from pulsating crystals, which are very easy to make. And actually, these have an EMC, so we don't need to bother with making the pulsating crystals. And the pink slime is, of course, pink slime. So we need to get ourselves a slaughterhouse from industrial foregoing, or a mob slaughtering factory, which I think is the same thing. I think it had a different name when the mod used to be Mine Factory Reloaded. Nevertheless, we'll go ahead and we'll make one of these. And all we need to do is either put regular mobs or hostile mobs in front of this thing, and it should start killing them and producing, I think, both meat and pink slime. And so for now, I think we might as well just kind of hijack our pre-existing system, and I would really prefer it if that was centralized like that. So real quick, if we grab ourselves a range add-on, which we do have, I'll go with like the biggest range add-on because it really doesn't matter how big of a range add-on we go with here. And I'll also grab a spectre coil, which of course we don't have because we never have them. And I make them every single stream because we need, I don't know how we need so many of them. I feel like we're not making that many blocks that require power, but they must go missing or something because I never seem to have enough of these spectre coils to go around. But nevertheless, here we go. We'll make some more spectre string, get ourselves a high tier spectre coil, and then kapow. So I am going to have to turn off my other mob grinder. And then hopefully, if we go take a look at this guy, I will quickly take a peek at the working area. The working area is quite large, and you'll see as it kills them, it gets a little bit of pink slime and a little bit of liquid meat. I think to ensure optimal running of this machine, we should probably make a few things here. We should probably make a speed upgrade, which these guys down here, thankfully not too difficult to make. And we should also probably look into getting some tanks so we can pull out the meat and the pink slime, because of course the meat is made at a much higher, and also these have an EMC. What am I doing? Speed. Here we go. We'll take this guy as well. Yeah, the meat comes in a lot faster than the pink slime does. And so this is going to fill up and stop the machine working before we get all of the pink slime that we need. And so real quick, what kind of tanks can we get? In here, we can get singularity tanks from mob grinding utilities. Quite a few tanks, actually. The black hole tank is pretty large, so I think I'll go with that. It's also from Mine Factory Reloaded as well, aka Industrial Foregoing. And so we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll grab some of those ender fluid conduits that I know we have lying around in here somewhere. Boom. Boom. And then let me see if I can do this correctly. So we want to extract always active. That is going to fill up with liquid meat. And then if we do the same thing on the other side, extract always active. I'm really hoping that gets pink slime. It did. Nice. And that should just keep working. It is going to lower the amount of EMC per second that we're getting to 0 because we're not actively killing our octuple compressed obsidian, but it should be very fast to get us the, I think, just 5,000 millibuckets of pink slime that we need. Once we have the 5,000 millibuckets, we can then go over to the fluid sieving machine. And we only need 300 millibuckets per ingot. So we actually only need 1,500 millibuckets of pink slime. So we actually already have enough. In that case, I will go ahead and turn this machine off and re-enable this guy. And I think that's legitimately the grinding ball's done. Like, I think that is all taken care of. So we'll come back to this in just a second. Let's finish what we started over here and grab the plates, which are actually up here. And I think that we are pretty much good to go on the infinite energy front. This one. So let's see here. We need crystal matrix ingots and infinity ingots, both of which we should have in the system. Infinity ingots, we do indeed good stuff. And then everything else, let me clear out my inventory just a little bit here, but everything else, I believe, has an EMC value. So we need fine copper wire, we need ultimate control circuits, and we need zinc. So let's see here. Fine copper wire, ultimate control circuits, and zinc. Quite a bit of zinc. What else do we need here? We also need to get ourselves some empowered Inori crystals, and that's it. We need empowered Inori crystals. As I mentioned, a very, very easy recipe to start the day here. Boom and boom. And then we have it. Infinite energy. Does this actually provide infinite redstone flux per tick, or is this like a magnetic craft thing where it does like its own energy that's used for something else? Don't use 2 separate tanks. Put the tanks in a black hole frame that can store and manage 4 tanks of storages. We could do that at the same time. Why though? Like, we need like 1.5 buckets of pink slime. And so it feels somewhat unnecessary. We also already have the creative energy cell from Applied Energistics 2. That just needs to go right about there. Right now we are actively using it for power, so it is not necessary. Let me see real quick here about getting the machine required to turn the pink slime into ingots, which is this guy, the fluid sieving machine, or the fluid sieving machine, which thankfully does not seem too difficult either. Fluid sieving machine, we need another machine frame. I'm going to make like a bunch of these. Because again, it's one of those things that I keep crafting over and over and over again, unnecessarily. And then with this guy, I think for now, we will just go ahead and do something like, hold on. Ever since I switched over to the gem armor, it's like, there's this weird thing where I can fly. We have creative fly, but then the gem armor also has this kind of like weird, almost jetpack-like mechanic where I can, move up and down and float. Like if I double tap, this is normal flying. You can move forward and backwards like this. And then if I undouble tap, I'm now using like the armor's kind of like float mechanics. It's real weird, and it confuses me from time to time because I think I'm flying, and then I let go of the spacebar, and it's just like I start falling very slowly. Anyway, here we go. If only they had DMC, the machine frames. Yeah, that's probably a much better idea. In all fairness, either way, I don't think we're getting more than 22 of them in this series. So insert, and we'll switch this guy over to extract, always active, and so that is all the pink slime that we need. Iron ingots can go in like so, and again, I don't think we need the Spectre coil here now, so we'll go ahead and just whack that in. And by in, I mean, of course, on this guy with the 2 speed upgrades. Boom and boom. And are we good to go? The answer appears to be no. And the reason why the answer appears to be no is that maybe we need 2,000 millibuckets per ingot. And maybe I was wrong. Hold on. And we'll find out in mere moments here. If we try that again, and we go U, and then replace this this conduit, it does say 2,000 out of 300, which kind of implies to me that you only need 300. But the fact that it does actively show 2,000, is 2,000 how much you can hold? No, we can hold 8,000. Okay, in that case then, it is probably true that we need to actually get more of this. That is fine. Always active. This should not be a problem. Again, we'll just go ahead and turn this off. We'll make sure that this guy has both the speed upgrades and the range add-on. This time around, thankfully, we do know that the speed upgrades are available in here, which is brilliant. There we go. And we'll find out in just a second here once this hits 2,000. And realistically, at this point, we could just leave this running and it would just work. Yeah, so it does require 2,000 buckets per ingot. So this is going to take a little bit of time to get up there to the 5 ingot mark, but that is fine. That shouldn't take too long. It should be done definitely before the end of today's stream. So while we wait for that, I guess the next thing that I am probably going to work on here, real quick, do we have enough Gaia to make this work? We maybe do? Is it 4 or 9? It's 9. We don't. Oh, okay. So we are going to have to fight another Gaia real quick because we actually need like 2 more Gaia ingots. That is fine. We fought quite a few Gaias in the last episode. Thankfully, that is not going to be an issue if we just grab a Gaia spirit and head on back down. This shouldn't take more than a few seconds here. The Gaia fight is extremely quick. There are a few mobs spawning down here now because there are no lights. But again, shouldn't be an issue. We'll just activate that real quick. It looks very loud on the stream. I'm hoping it's not too loud for you guys. We'll get rid of it. Oh, we can't get... Oh, yeah, we can. Oh, hello, my friend. Excuse me? Please die. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the speediness with which you became deceased. And I would now like to leave the premises before I die myself. Thank you. All right, so that should be the 2 Gaia blocks taken care of. I'm actually surprised there's not really any like astral sorcery stuff in this final craft here. That does surprise me. Either way, boom. And we only needed, what, 2 more, but we did use 1, so 3 more. And then we'll take all of those, and we'll get ourselves the final block of... or Gaia block. Nice. Okie dokie. So we'll throw that in there. Getting ever closer. Ever closer. How are we doing on these guys? We are at still 1. Okay, so I'll leave that for a little while here. I thought it might have been a little bit faster. Alas, I was mistaken. So I think now it's probably about time that we looked into pneumatic craft, I think. Because really, the only things we have left now are the creative tank, and the thing that's hard about this is the HDPE pellets, which really are not too difficult, honestly. We do need liquid ethylene, which you get from normal ethylene, which is made from water, hydrogen, biofuel, and you get the byproduct of substrate as well. So that also shouldn't be too difficult, this area here. We do need a lot of creative essence, although I did think we got most of it in a previous stream. Although, actually, real quick, I'll make this guy, the neutronium solar panel, because this one also is not too difficult. We did make enough infinity catalysts previously to where we could make this guy. So we throw that in the middle. We grab ourselves some neutron piles and neutron nuggets. Where in the world do these need to go? The only hard part about this are the 2 chaotic solar panels, which do require a chaotic core, some draconic solar panels, and also some awakened cores, but thankfully all of that has an EMC, and we did go ahead and set up the altar for it over there in the last stream. So we need to surround it with piles, and then each of the 4 sides needs the neutronium. Okay, that is very doable. Nice. So we also need neutronium ingots and crystal matrix ingots. Neutronium ingots we of course have, and crystal matrix ingots we also have on us as well. So let me bookmark that real quick so I don't have to keep going back through all of the other crafts. We also need a few more ultimate ingots, which, you guessed it, we should already have. Yeah, we do. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so these were at the top and bottom, right? Yes. They were here and here. And then I think it was like this. Maybe not so many. Yes, it was like this. All right, what else are we missing here? We do need to craft the Ender module solar panels. Those guys are not EMCable, and we don't have them just yet, so those are definitely needed. And then, other than that, though, I think it was just like this with the neutronium, minus this one, and maybe with these. Yes, it's like I'm playing a very elaborate game of spot the difference. Like I look and I look at the recipe, and then I look at this recipe, and I have to know, have I done this right? Have I done this wrong? This is not correct. You know, it's just it's such a weird setup we've got going on here. But finally, the chaotic solar panels shouldn't be too difficult. So we need draconic cores, draconic solar panels, and chaos cores. Again, all of that has an EMC value. So draconic solar panels. And then if we go ahead and just type in core, we can get the chaotic cores and the awakened cores. And then what is the ratio here? It is 4, 4, and 1. Okay, that is fine. Very much so doable. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I still wish that had a cooler animation, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Do we only need 2 of these? I think we do, right? Yeah. Boom. Nice. Maybe look at teaching your autocrafter some of that stuff. Like, which stuff though? Like, I don't think there's anything to autocraft. Like, we can't autocraft this. You know, we only need 1 of these solar panels. I guess we could try and autocraft it, but I don't think there's anything autocraftable about the setup, right? I mean, we could teach our system how to make awakened cores and whatnot, but given that they have an EMC, it's just so much faster not to teach them that. We do have to make 4 Ender solar panels here, and hopefully these are not too difficult. I did take a quick peek at the recipe between streams, and thankfully it doesn't seem too difficult, and a lot of the subcomponents do have EMC as well. Again, I will bookmark these. So we need some Ender solar cells, which are made from Ender glass plates, which are glass, and then Ender dust, or glass panes, and Ender dust, and then also a solar circuit component, which, as you can see, is very easy to make here. So we need the Ender dust, which you get by crushing, and it seems like it is only doable in the Extra Utilities Crusher, with either an Ender ingot or Ender ore. Now, I think the Ender ingot is makeable. You can smelt Ender dust from Tiny Progressions, or Ender dust from Applied Energistics, which is just an Ender pearl. Okay, so that should be actually very easy to do if we just pulverize this and then put it in the crusher. Or pulverize it, pulverize it, then smelt it, then put it in the crusher? Is that the order there? Yes, that is the order indeed. So if we pulverize this real quick, it's a very bizarre setup. So you pulverize it into Ender dust, and then you smelt it. I actually don't think we have a redstone furnace here. We don't. Can I smelt this in my other furnace? No, it has to be in like a redstone furnace. All right. Does the redstone furnace have an EMC? Is a good question. It does not. But thankfully, it is very easy to make. Once we've made these, I'll go take another look at the... Oh my goodness, there are so many... Where is the real brick? Is it this one? It is. There are so many things in our transmutation now. It's mad. We recently got the Tome of Knowledge, and so we now have everything available in our transmutation table, which is great. But at the same time, not so great in that it is now very, 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 very slow. So if we throw these in here, those do smelt back down. I will quickly grab some more upgrade kits, which do have an EMC in, so I should definitely pull them out of the transmutation tablet. Or at least the first two do, I guess. There we go. And then we just put these into the crusher, which we actually don't have just yet. The one from Extra Utilities 2, which, as luck would have it, you guessed it, has an EMC value. Fantastic. So we'll throw... Does it have an EMC value? The crusher is not showing up in my transmutation tablet for whatever reason. That is very odd. Thankfully, it doesn't look too difficult to make, so we can just make it manually, but that very much so should be in here, right? Oh, is it like an Extra Utilities bug where it doesn't show up, it just shows up as a machine block? Ah, I see. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. All right, we'll throw you down for now, I guess right about here. And then if we throw these in, those are going to break down nice and quickly there. Fantastic. 52, I think, should be more than enough. We do have more speed upgrades lying around in the system, so I'll go ahead and grab some of those, throw that in there, make that nice and fast. And then I think, guys, that should be those 4 Ender modular solar panels taken care of. At which point, we have everything it takes to make... Please don't crash. Thank you. At which point we have everything it takes to make the neutronium solar panel, which does generate 1,048,576 redstone flux per tick, which is insane. Right now we're using these guys, the tier 7 solar panels, which are producing about 12,000-ish RF per tick, so a pretty big jump. But at the same time, we really don't need that extra power at this point in time, so it's really just for the final craft here. Okay, so while we're waiting for all this to process, let's go do another quick check on our pink slime. Are you done? You are. Nice. We got 5 blocks. So at this point, I will once again turn this off because we don't need it. And I will also go ahead and turn you back on so we can start working towards that 800T EMC that we need. And so back over here, I think now all we need to do is get ourselves... By the way, I'm looking at the crystalline pink slime grinding balls real quick. For these, we need the grains of piezoality, which are EMCable. I do also see that creeper over there blending in with my solar panels. But if we grab those and we head on over to our alloy smelter, which doesn't have a capacitor in it, but that is fine. We can make one happen. And we do something like this. Those are going to smelt up, and that is the balls taken care of. At that point, we're good to go on that front as well, which is pretty nice because they do take up quite a sizable amount of the craft, even though they're not too hard to make. So we'll throw you in there. We will grab all 5 of those, and if we come back over and craft those up in a little plus shape, boom, 24 of the balls. And if we look back at the craft here, we need 2 in each corner. So they go here, 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 and you guessed it, right here. Boom! All right, we're getting there slowly but surely. We're filling in most of the easier stuff. Like, there's still quite a lot of the individual, like, harder items that still need to be filled in there. But for the most part, some of the easier items are now taken care of, which is good. Yes, this is looking nice. Yeah, I think next up we're gonna have to look at Pneumaticraft. I've kind of avoided Pneumaticraft for a while. It's been such a long time since I've played with it, but I don't think that it should be too difficult here. I think we are very much so there. The extra stack here, I think, should get us where we need to go. We are going to need yet more of these ender glass panes. Thankfully, they are very easy to make. So let's get 2 more of these going. 1, and do I really need to make another one of these? I do. 2. And 2. Nice. All right. Back over here. Let's see. So we need... Was it... Oh, I think it was here. I think I've put these in the wrong place. I think it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then what am I missing? I am missing... I'm missing an ingot? Oh, it's right there. Thank you, chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Neutronium solar panel taken care of. I was looking at like everything but the crystal matrix ingots. Okay. Chaos plank, where does this go? It goes in the bottom left. There we go. There we go. Okay. Next up, I guess, on the list is pneumatic craft. We need advanced PCBs to make these, and we also need to get a creative compressor, which is also from pneumatic craft, and then we also need the creative generator, which requires yet more advanced PCBs, and unfortunately, they do not have an EMC. So the advanced PCBs are made from redstone, yellow plastic, and printed circuit boards. The plastic is not too bad. We have a plastic setup over here. So the way this works is we put oil into this bottom refinery, and then that will refine that oil into diesel as well as into, I think it's LPG. Here we go, yeah. So we turn hot oil, or just regular oil, sorry, into diesel and LPG. We do that because we've got two of these refineries here. The LPG is then pumped around into here, and then this will turn into plastic? Yes. So long as the temperature is hot enough, this will turn into plastic. Right now, the temperature is not hot enough. I believe we do have to put some lava underneath here, or some other way of heating this up. But once it gets hot enough, it should then start turning the LPG into plastic, and the plastic goes into here. We do have 8,000 millibuckets of plastic already, so we can make a little bit of plastic. So I guess we'll start with the creative compressor, because I think we are going to need to set up a compressor system, and having a creative compressor is definitely going to help with that. So let me see if I can remember how this is done. Can you make the creative tank? We can look at making the creative tank. The thing that we're missing for the creative tank is HDPE, and to make the creative tank, we still do need 4 ultimate tanks. But yeah, you're right. If we make the ultimate tank, then we can get like ultimate plastic, right? Unlimited plastic. And that's going to actually make my life so much easier. Yeah, okay. In that case then, HDPE. How do we go about making 4 HDPE rods? So we need 16 pellets. So we need a PRC. Unfortunately, none of the mechanism machines have an EMC, which is a little annoying. Is it not called? Oh, it's like a pressure reaction chamber or something. It's not actually called. It says PRC on the thing here, but it's actually called a pressurized reaction chamber. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't just say pressurized reaction chamber along the top. That would be too easy, right? But yeah, this definitely makes a lot more sense to make this ahead of time and then move forward. Oh, of course. You need... Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Okay. Real quick. Let me make that tank. And let me get some plastic going. I shouldn't have made black plastic. I should have made gray plastic. Let me get some plastic going here real quick with the fluid tank from mechanism. So I need atomic alloy. I also need reinforced alloy. And I just think I need all the alloys, which thankfully all do have an EMC value. And so that should be the ultimate tank here. Now, thankfully, if I figure out how in the world I switch modes with mechanism, by default it's M, but there's also a ton of other stuff bound to M. So let me unbind some other stuff like toggle quantum flux magnet, change staff of the gatekeeper mode, change mode from better builders ones, building gadgets, galaxy map. Okay, so I think that is all that's left. So now if I press M, or shift M, there we go. Bucket mode is on. So now we can use this just like a bucket. And if I'm not mistaken, we do have a little bit of oil not too far away. And so we should, as we slowly descend here, thanks to our armor, be able to just pick all of this up. Beautiful. And then turn it all into that sweet, sweet plastic over at our base. I wish there was an easier way to do this. You can make oil, by the way. It is very makeable. Like, you can automatically make it. But at the same time, although this is a little bit more manual, I do think it's a little easier. So, one more bucket. And we're full. Nice. 112 buckets of oil. Fantastic. I think that should be maybe more than enough to get us, like, at least all the plastic that we need for mechanism. Maybe all the plastic that we need for pneumatic craft, although I doubt it. So, let's give this a whirl, shall we? We're going to have the oil go into this bottom slot. Yes, I think this is how I did last time. I just like right-clicked and loaded it in like that. So, this also requires heat, which is where this lava comes in. So right now we've got a fluid place which is full of lava. The reason why it's not placing the lava is because our auto breaker is also full of obsidian. So if we get rid of all this breaks the obsidian. Eventually the lava does turn into obsidian, but whilst we wait, that should begin to increase the temperature at least of this. Yes, when it gets to 100, it's going to start working. This guy is also increasing in temperature, so we might not have to do anything here. Although if we wanted to make it maybe a little bit more effective, we could do this, like break this block, and then do this. At which point the lava flows, and this starts to increase in temperature much faster. Beautiful. Now, I don't remember quite how fast this was. And it seems to be, oh, it is working now. I was going to say, it seems to be struggling to get to 100 degrees Celsius, but it is doing it. Albeit fairly slowly. This guy's also climbing up slowly but surely to 100 degrees Celsius, at which point it'll start working as well. Again, there are, I think, better ways of doing this on a larger scale. But for now, I think this will work. Like, if we get around to playing Titan mode, which we almost certainly will, then we're going to have to look at, like, actually automating this to be much better. But for regular mode, I think we should be fine. Yeah, there we go. Plastic. Almost plastic. There we go. Nice. And then that should get transferred over. It does. Cool. We got a fluid transfer node in the middle there, a flat one. So we need like 4 gray plastic right now. Yes. That's actually not too bad. I should probably, and by probably I mean almost definitely, turn this off bucket mode, so Shift M, and then use fluid conduits to pull this out, so I don't have to sit here and manually kind of babysit this machine. Always active, and insert. Nice. Yes, that's going to keep that full, and then this is going to stay full of plastic. Beautiful. All right, so we got our full plastic. We should now be able to make our PRC, our pressurized reaction chamber. We are definitely going to need... There we go. We are definitely going to need more of that grey plastic, because I'm fairly certain we're going to need more of the steel casing in just a second here. But real quick, let's make an enrichment chamber, and then let's upgrade said enrichment chamber to a pressurized reaction chamber, which does also require 2 basic gas tanks, which I'm going to put in my inventory because I don't think they're going to shift click in, unfortunately. And then a dynamic tank. I was going to say a dynamatic tank. That is not correct. And boom. Nice. So pressurized reaction chamber taken care of. So this allows us to turn the liquid ethylene and oxygen with substrate into HDPE pellets. Substrate is made also in the pressurized reaction chamber. So we're going to need maybe another one of these, or maybe we can use the same one twice. But we also need to get both hydrogen and oxygen and ethylene. Ethylene is from the condensator, and the condensator gets its ethylene from the PRC again. So actually, I think we don't need that many machines. It seems like just the PRC over and over and over again, and we get substrate in the same craft as ethylene here. So really, right now, we need an electrolyzer, which allows us to turn water into both hydrogen and oxygen, both of which we need here, the electrolytic separator even. So for that, we also need an electrolytic core. This is actually very easy, a lot easier than I thought it would be. The only thing we're missing is pulverized gold, of all things, which we actually have, and I'm not quite sure why that didn't work. Oh, no, it's not gold, it's iron. All right, boom, and boom. Nice, okay. So with the electrolytic separator, we can turn water into hydrogen and oxygen. From there, let me go ahead and bookmark these HDPE rods. From there, we can use the water and the hydrogen from the separator with biofuel, which you can make in the crusher, to make substrates. We're doing a crusher. That is fine. The crusher is definitely going to require 4 more plastic here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And whilst I'm at it, I'm also going to craft like a bunch of black plastic just so that the setup here can keep working whilst I'm doing other stuff. So there's 20 black plastic because we need that black plastic for the creative compressor. So now, what else are we after? We are after the crusher. Very easy. Boom, we just need another bucket of lava. And of course, that steel casing there. Lava should be fairly easy to come by. As always, we do not have a bucket. I don't know. I'm going to make like a bunch of buckets here. And by a bunch, I mean, of course, 3. And then we do have, I believe, a tank full of quite a large amount of lava. Right down here. How much lava do we have right now? We've got a lot. Is that like a billion? 1,184,453,880 and counting up. We are still making lava slowly but surely. There are faster ways we can make it, but I don't think we're going to need more than 1 billion millibuckets in today's stream, so we should be good. Oh, the tablet for lava? We could have used... I mean, you know. The tablet is fun and all, but every now and again, you got to mix it up, right? And use something different. Okay, so we'll throw this down over here somewhere. Like so. And then if we just throw in, for example, some saplings, that should start crushing those saplings down into biomass. So then, let's see how I want to do this. It's going to be a bit of a janky and temporary setup because I'd like to, if possible, not make multiple of these PRCs. That would be ideal. I'd like to just use the one that we have. So, let's go ahead and grab a sink real quick, which does have an EMC. The sink acts, of course, as an unlimited water source. So we'll throw this guy down right about there. We'll grab some more of those ender fluid conduits. And that should allow us to begin creating the hydrogen and the oxygen. Of course, it does require water. The water, of course, requires yet another spectre coil. Like so. This guy does require quite a bit of power when fully sped up. At its base speed, it's actually not that fast. The PLC is currently filling with oxygen. Is that right? I think it is, right? We need oxygen and water for the first craft. No, hydrogen and water. Okay, so we need to change this. That is fine. It does mean that I'm going to have to rotate this, which I can't do with a wrench. So really it means I'm going to have to put it down this way, because the hydrogen comes out of the left, the oxygen comes out of the right. I'm hoping if I break this, it will delete its contents. It does not. Okay, so in that case, I need, I think, a pipette. Is that what it's called? At mechanism. There's an item that we can use. This guy, the gauge dropper. Here we go. I always call it a pipette, but this should allow me to pull the oxygen out of here. There we go. So now it's filling up with hydrogen. Beautiful. And at that point, we also need to fill it up, of course, with water, which is where, once again, the ender fluid conduits come into play. If we do this, but we set the top to accept fluids. There we go. Insert. And nice, we're getting water. Okay, so once again, the spectre coil is needed, but this should, I believe, get us one step closer to the HDPE that we're after. This is going to get us the ethylene, and as soon as we put in some biomass, or biofuel even, that should get us the substrate and also the ethylene. Yes, okay. The question now is how much substrate and how much ethylene do we need? So we need 4 of these, I think, 4 of these rods. Let me check. 2. We need 2 rods. So we need 8 HDPE pellets. 8 HDPE pellets is 8 substrate. 8 substrate is, 400 millibuckets of ethylene, which is, I think, a 1-to-1 ratio with liquid ethylene. It is indeed. And so we actually don't need that much. 8 substrate and 400 millibuckets. We've already got 700 millibuckets and 8 substrate. So I think we're actually, like, good to go here. I will go until we get... Actually, I guess we could use a tank, right, to pull out the ethylene there. It is... Wait, can we? I think it's a gas right now, right? I think we can actually maybe also auto-output this. If we go to gases, the output side is this side. And then if we turn that on for auto-eject... Nice. We got over a bucket's worth of ethylene in there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we've also got the substrate, which is perfect. So now, I think we need to turn the separator around. And also we need to empty out... Can I, like, empty this? No, I can't. Okay, I might need to get, like, a gas tank so that I can... Do the gas tanks have an EMC? No. Okay, I'm going to have to make a gas tank so I can dump this, like, oxygen somewhere. There we go. Let's dump that in there. Beautiful. Or maybe I could just shift right click. I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out in a second here if I do this and... Oh, you can just shift right click to empty. Okay, fantastic. So we'll get rid of you. Get rid of you. And so now we have water in here. I don't think water needs to be in here anymore because the next stage here is actually making the HDPE. So we do need to get ourselves a condensator, which is this guy. Thankfully, doesn't seem too difficult. It does require a gas tank, which we have, and it also requires a basic fluid tank, which we also can make fairly easily here. So long as I actually grab the basic fluid tank out of here, we are pretty much good to go. We also need an energy tablet. And boom. rotary condensator. Nice. So with this, we're going to go and do this. And then we do have to pull the gas out of here into here. I believe for that, we do have to use the mechanism pipes. I don't think you can auto pull in with the mechanism machines. And so I think we do have to get ourselves some pressurized tubes, which thankfully are also not too difficult to make. And we can turn them into advanced pressurized tubes fairly easily. And at this point, I might also require, also let me place this down in such a way that it can actually get its job done, which I'm hoping is like this way. Beautiful. I think I also do at this point need to get myself the configurator, which we can use to configure the pressurized tubes that we've just put down. So we'll take you and shift scroll until we get to gases, and then boom. This might still be down the wrong way around. Still no way. Can I pipette this out? I can. And then potentially I can just put this in here. I know this is not like the minus. Okay. I mean, I guess that works. Like, it might also just need power, actually, now that I think about it. It might be a case of I put a spectacle on here and this maybe just starts working. No. That's fine. Either way, that is producing liquid ethylene, which is going to come out of this side. So, now, chat, if we take the PRC and we move it over to here, and we pipette out the water into Oblivion, which is going to take about 40 minutes because I have to get out, what is it, 8 buckets worth? 10 buckets worth? All right, one more, at which point it should maybe begin putting the ethylene in there. It's not. Now, that could be because the rotary condensator doesn't auto output, or it could be because this is not set to receive liquids on the left side. Or both. Honestly. Let me try this. And then we'll use like the fluid conduits. Extract. Always active. And it's a worst case scenario, we can always, there we go, it worked. Okay, I was going to say worst case scenario, we could always use the pipette again, but that would be a little horrendous. And so finally, let me check here real quick. It is hydrogen on the left side. So if we put this guy down, like so, it is hydrogen. Let me check real quick that hydrogen is indeed what we're after here. No, it's oxygen we're after. So we want it down like this. Yes. And then we want to make sure that this guy can accept oxygen from the right-hand side. Nice. So now it has oxygen. It has liquid ethylene. We can put in the substrate, and it's going to start making both HDPE and excess oxygen. We are going to need more oxygen in there. That is fine. Should be easy enough for us to do. I'm so careful with the world breaker that I'm not like... I literally tap it so fast to make sure that I don't end up, breaking everything whenever I use that there. Where did my... Please don't fall. Where did my separator go? Though. As it appears to... Oh, it's right here, you fool. It is this that we're doing. Boom. Boom. Extract. Always active. That should start making more... As soon as we put power on it, that should start making more hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen is what we're after. But we've got HDPE pellets. Nice. And we can craft those up and boom, we're done. Okay, fantastic. All right. That is how you make the HDPE rods. We only need 2 of them. And so now it's just a case of putting all of that together into a creative tank. So let's start with these 2, I guess, which are here and here. We then need to get ourselves a bunch of creative essence, which I think we already have. We do. Nice. I believe it was like this. Although I will double check that in just a second here. Yes, we then need ultimate mechanical pipes. We need 4 tanks, neutronium ingots, ultimate ingots. Okay. This actually doesn't look too bad now. I think the hardest part about it was definitely the HDPE rods. Most of the rest of this here is just crafting now. Or just pulling stuff out of the transmutation table or out of our system, like in the case of these infinity ingots that we have an infinite amount of. Yes, that's all but the corners. Like so. And then what goes in the corners? The corners are atomic alloys, which we actually have on us already. Fantastic. And then all we need now are 4 tanks, 2 ultimate pipes, which you're going to have to craft manually, and 4 ultimate tanks, which you're also going to have to craft manually. So real quick, we'll do the tanks first, because they are the easiest part of the whole setup. And I think it was the open blocks tanks, these ones. Although, I will check real quick. It was indeed. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, pipes have EMC? I don't think so. Let me check, though. Oh, yeah, the pipes do have an EMC. My bad. The ultimate mechanical pipes do indeed have an EMC. Thank you. Wait. The basic mechanical pipes have an EMC? Yes, okay, so it's another one of those situations where they all have the same EMC. Thankfully, getting up to the highest tier does not look difficult at all, especially given that earlier we crafted up everything we need. So, real quick, let's just go through and craft those. The basic tier does have an EMC, but the highest tier does not. Again, they're not too hard to make, though, so 1 and 1. And then now we just need 4 tanks. What are we missing in the middle? 3 osmium, of all things. Like so. And then just 4 tanks. All right. Tank. The tank also did not seem like it was too hard to make, so making 4 of these, again, should be very easy. They do not stack, so we're going to have to do each one individually here, which is just great. But nevertheless, we'll do... Actually, you're basic. Okay. 1, 2. I guess I should just have all this in the system there. So 3 and 4. And then if we dump those all in, we can then go ahead and get the next tier, which is tier 3. Excuse me. Oh, it's... Gosh dang it. It doesn't pull the right tank. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, we're after this guy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course one more creative essence, which I apparently forgot to place in. I think, chat, that we have unlimited of any fluid that we could ever want in the form of a creative tank. Nice!